Really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
the gate with 5 gifted Bullhorn Betty memberships, followed by D, Mystery Obsessed, and Spicy Disaster has been here for 6 months. If you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership from either Pam or D, please do not forget to tell them thank you and welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. I can't scream in the... We're not at home, right? We're not at home. We have neighbors. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm not going to be on here very long because I have been working. I worked until like 11 o'clock last night on stuff, and I'm quite exhausted, but I'm ready to get today just over with. We're not going to talk about today until we're through the day. Oh, Melanie, thank you so much. If you received your gifted membership from Melanie, please don't forget to tell Melanie thank you. And welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. So many of you guys know we're not going to really address this. I'm just going to kind of do my one and done, which is what is common for me. We're not going to stretch this out. You guys know what you guys heard on my channel when I interviewed that S crazy lady that's now flipped. So we ran a story about, an RSO, which is related to the mom of Sebastian Rogers. I was told she was not around kids, hadn't been around kids, lives with her sister or whatever the case may be, whoever, or maybe her parents. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it. But at the end of the day, we ran a story about, Frances being around children. And I try to be as respectful because of my friendship or alleged friendship. Obviously, it wasn't a friendship. It was more of a manipulation to try to stop me from being able to speak. And I've been very delicate, and I haven't really touched that part of the family for a variety of reasons. But once I realized that she was misinforming me, that, Frances has actually been around children, not just one, but multiple children, many children, as a matter of fact. That's kind of where my loyalty in protecting kids, ends with a person, right? At the end of the day, these are children. These are children that were probably around a woman that they didn't know what her past was. And if they did, shame on the parents, right? And when I look at this particular page, I realized that the lady's a good Christian lady, and I just don't see her flagrantly allowing somebody like that around children without, if she knew. And I've also noticed that as of like 2022, there were no more videos, contact, or anything on that particular page, as if maybe they had found out and kind of severed those ties. I don't know. This is all speculative in nature. But it was well researched. We talked about the RSO. We talked about the laws in the state that this RSO resides. We've looked at multiple laws, even the state in which this person was arrested in. And I stand by the story. I stand by the reporting. It was accurate. There has been no information received by me, something that is a receipt that states anything that I said was not factually correct. We went over the law as that particular state read. We went over the charge sheet. We went over the RSO form. We went over the photos corroborating that, yes, in fact, this RSO was actually not only around and speaking to a child that's now missing, but also been around many other children, which is, again, that's where my loyalty and friendship ends, because our focus is, victim focus, but we also don't want potential victims either, right? So we do this for guys. If we know that there is a man that's an RSO that's around children, they go on the show. So it's not that we are out, picking on this. We never talked about these people in this family except for generic purposes to identify characteristics and psychology of the mom of Sebastian. I think I've been very, very respectful, but because this lady couldn't tell me what to do, she decided to be very vindictive. So again, like I told her, I'm not going to worry about her feelings anymore. And if we need to go into this case a little bit deeper, we will. We will. So, long story short is I don't know what her purpose was. I got to hear some of the commentary from Mr. Proudfoot, and it sounds like she has not spoken to the family, that none of the family really want anything to do with her. So to me, it sounds like she was lonely. She wasn't getting the attention she needed from me. And she decided to create a problem where there was no problem. And that's about to the statement that I'm going to make. Um, she had reached out to me for that interview. It really wasn't the other way around. I, was never intending, if you guys know me, I don't really intend to call people unless they want to come up. It's not one of those things where I, arm wrestle people in, but I didn't even know who Yeda really was until she had reached out to one of my mods and wanted to share her story. And I was willing to give her a platform to share that story on. So a lot of this stuff she has created all by herself. I had been warned by several people about her, but because I had a good working relationship, and you know me, I don't judge people by somebody else's statements. I just didn't pay attention to that, and I was friendly with her even when a lot of people, even on these platforms, stopped associating with her because of her poor behavior in these things, where she goes from a really nice, what she appears to be a sweet person, to what you guys, the vindictiveness of this woman, this manipulative woman that you guys saw last night. So that's kind of where my conversation is. I don't want to speak to her again. She's more than welcome to share any text messages, but I can tell you the text messages she sent me, she probably doesn't want out. And you know me, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if anybody sees any of my text messages floating around, please let me know, because I will immediately be producing every single one of the text messages that she has sent me about her family. And we'll just put it all out there just like that. I am a very integrity focused person. I don't like playing these games or having to throw out private information, but I'm not going to be attacked on lies either. So I hold receipts. I will use those receipts if I absolutely have to. I really don't want to. You guys know me. I'm confidential. If you say things, it goes into the vault. Well, there is a caveat to that. It goes both ways. So, yeah, it is not a game. Exactly. So that's kind of where we are. I find it awfully sus that it is it's literally the day before I have to go to court. I don't think that's a coincidence. But either way, I stand by what I said. I stand by what I said and what I reported on that. But a long story short, we're over that. She's a nothing burger. I'm not going to worry with her. After the hate channels use her up, she's going to be spit out. She's going to be, basically a freaking hamburger by the time that's why you don't mess with those channels, right? So we'll just let the trash take itself out. But she was definitely on the right channel. She's definitely the character of the person for the channel she was on. So we'll keep her over in that side, and we'll maintain this side, and we'll keep talking about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and advocating for him. So maybe somebody that comes across this show can say, oh, I recognize that boy. I saw something. And that's at the end of the day what this is all about. We dive into these cases, and we keep these cases going until there's no path forward, right? That's what the beauty of the true crime genre here on social media is. So I'm very thankful that was at least eye-opening, because, I was always conflicted. So many people were telling me such bad things about this lady, but she had never done anything, bad to me. And I've prayed for her often, but at the end of the day, I'm over it. And I'm just over it. What do? I'm absolutely disgusted that she wanted everybody to hear her story. She wanted everybody to know that, Katie's proclivities, Katie's behavior, crocodile tears, those are all things she wanted people to know about the mother of Sebastian Rogers, and you guys can go review the interview with her. It is still on my page somewhere. It'll be exclusive interview. If you wanted to search for it, you can find her and listen to that conversation. Definitely not the same person you saw last night. So this whole family has problems, right? There's something not right with any of these people at all. And I'm over it. We are going to absolutely have Seth's back. We're going to absolutely continue to talk about his son and advocate for his son. And we just know that there is some really rotten people in this world, right? We've heard a lot of nasty stuff. We've got a mom that does things horrible to her daughter. We've got another mom that does the horrible things and allows another man to do horrible things to her son. So, we've got a really, really messed up family, like majorly messed up. So that's to the extent I'm willing to talk about it. I would be fine never seeing or hearing from that lady again. But I'm pretty sure that's not going to be possible, because just as soon as she has somebody that wants to give her attention, she's going to be flipping on somebody else, right? It sounds like she's going to be talking to Mr. Proudfoot. And when Mr. Proudfoot's probably done with her and he already has an idea about it, I don't see where I think she just burnt every last bridge she has. Her family doesn't want anything to do with her. And she keeps wanting to come out and correct the information. Well, how are you correcting information on a family that doesn't even talk to you? How do you really know, right? That's what's going on in the back of my mind with this lady. How in the world do you even really know? Nobody talks to you. Nobody speaks to you. And some of the things she said to me privately, made it appear that it was everybody else, which we know that can't possibly be true. But again, done with the conversation. That's my 2 cents on it. And she either wasn't being truthful in the interview, or she wasn't being truthful on that hate channel last night. It's one or the other, right? So either way, we know that she's capable of lying. I know for a fact she's capable of lying, because when I was on the phone with her, she was talking about Francis and adamantly stated that she's not around kids. She said that, I think she was the one that may have been the one that told me that when Katie was calling her Aunt Suzanne, I think is her name, which is where Francis lives. I think she's the one that told me that's when Francis does speak or potentially speak with Sebastian. Now, I didn't know if that was because she didn't appear to be, if it's from her. I might be mixing that conversation up with somebody else, though, just to put a disclaimer on that. But I'm pretty sure she's the one that told me about the phone call, and I know she's the one that told me about the funeral and, how nice Sebastian was, but he was withdrawn or something. I think she might even have talked about that on the interview. So she may have even talked about both of these things on the interview. But I'm pretty sure she denied Sebastian having really any relationship with her, Frances, the grandmother. And I'm pretty sure that she said that the last time she saw Katie as well as Sebastian was at the same funeral. And I heard Chris reference that as well. So either way, this lady, like I said, has no contact with hardly any person in her family to even know what is true or untrue, in my opinion. But let's get back onto things. We need prayers. We need prayers for her first and foremost, right? She seems like she needs to probably go to a doctor and speak to somebody about something, in my opinion, because it can't always be everybody else. So I hope she seeks the help that she may need. But Sebastian has been what our main focus is, and it's actually why I'm here right now, even though we haven't been able to search for him, because we have a mom and a dad that has spent more time gunning after one little girl, me, than they have trying to find their missing child. And I have to think that that's all due to do with a distraction. They have to be doing something because they look really, really bad, right? They look bad on paper. They look bad on the videos. They just look bad. So we're going to be here. We're going to fight our little arses off today. And what I need from each and every one of you is prayers. That's what I need, not just for me, but for that judge. I hope that God gives him strength to do the right thing today. And I think we all need to, instead of focusing and praying for me, I think we need to be focusing and praying over that judge, because the judge is the one that's going to be the ultimate decision maker on where this case, ends up moving to or staying at, or whatever the case may be. So please think of the judge today. I know you guys are worried about me, but I'm a big girl. I will work through all of this. We have this big happy family. Um, we are as ready as we're going to be. I can tell you that. Um, I have some few things that I've got to wrap up this morning, but for the most part, we've got everything. In my opinion, I feel more confident going into this court than I did the last one, right? So, and we had that horrible, horrible attorney on the last one that it's just bad. I don't know how we can describe his performance other than terrible. Absolutely terrible, and I fear for his clients. I really do. So we will be addressing that issue, probably in the future when things settle down here and we work through this process. I probably will be addressing a lot of this stuff, but I won't be addressing it until it's finalized, right? And then we'll have a good discussion on it. But I'm absolutely feeling a lot more confident today, and I really, really do, really, really, really appreciate um, my attorney. I have such respect and high regard for him. And I think that today is going to be, I don't think I don't know what to make of today. I don't want to say I think it's going to be a good day because we are in Sumner County, but I do believe that we have at least a fair shake, right? At least a fair shake, which I have been disadvantaged in this county from out the gate. So I think we're going to at least have a fair shake. We'll see where everything lands today. But for those that are going to be there in person, please either wear a green ribbon or something green. This is all about Sebastian. We should not be here. We should be out there. All the people that are coming in here for this should be out in the woods searching for Sebastian, but they don't want to. And of course, last night people don't even have. I watched some of the stuff that was sent to me in clips or was on X because I don't go to these trash channels. But it seems to me that all these people are so concerned about, because I call them out, right? Because I think they're drug addicts, felons, criminals, right? These hate channels. We got people that are sleeping with everybody. I mean, it's becoming a toxic waste dump. And so I call these people out regularly. And the only thing that they got on their hands, if we can just get her in jail, if we can just smear her, if we can just, because they look horrible. And so what they're trying to do is make everybody else look horrible. But there's just no possibility because they're trash. Like they stinks to high heaven. Everything that they say is stinky. It doesn't make sense. Even last night, they didn't even have anything to go on, but they were just like, oh my gosh, he's threatening. You should do this. You should do that. I have freedom of speech in this country. I can tell anybody to go get bent when the hell I want to tell somebody to go get bent. And if anybody has a problem with it, guess what? Go get freaking bent. I don't care. I don't care, right? I don't care. At the end of the day, they have turned this case for Sebastian and turned it into a freaking mockery. Sebastian deserves better from each and every one of us. And more importantly, his freaking mom and stepfather. More importantly, his mom and stepfather. They have turned this slap into a S show. And it's appalling and it's disgusting. And we know the only reason why people run to the channels that they run to is for one purpose and one purpose only. So anyways, guys, I want you guys, more importantly, when you're praying for this judge, I want you to be praying for Sebastian too. You know where I want to be on your list of prayers today? Is at the bottom. I need your prayers, and I know that they're there, but I wanted to make sure that the judge and Sebastian come before me. And why do we have to contact LE to get search approved to find Sebastian? I mean, I live 2 hours away. You don't have to. the only reason, like in Layla Santinello's case, when I was speaking to law enforcement about certain search areas, so that was really because they were still actively searching for Layla Santinello. And the one thing that we did not want to do was search in an area that law enforcement had identified and us be there before law enforcement. That was one thing I didn't want to do. So, and they couldn't really tell me where they were going. So what I had to do is send a map to them and show them the area that I wanted to search and make sure, they couldn't tell me much, but they could tell me whether they were going to be in that area or if that area was good and, good for me to search. Either they have already searched it or it wasn't on their list to search at all, which could possibly be, but that's the only reason I could think that anybody would want to, know where you're at or, approve a search because, and I don't know if I've never heard that Sumner County requires an approval to go search, public wooded areas. I've never heard that before. So one, it may just be a rumor that somebody, is passing around to prevent people from searching just, willy nilly. Or it could be because there's secret searches going on and they don't want people in the area where law enforcement is searching. Those are the only two reasons I can think of, but there's no real requirement. The only requirement you have is if you're going on private property is to have the consent of the owner. Anything that's public property, anything that's owned by the city or state, that's fair game, with some caveats to, more sensitive areas. Like we had that federal one they were searching, they got on federal land. The way I look at that, federal land, it belongs to the American taxpayer. It doesn't belong to whatever organization is owning it or has their name on it. Like, United States Social Security Office. That is a federal property, right? That's owned by we the people. So I don't quite get it, but I do know that there are some restricted accesses to some of our properties. So you have to be in the know of that as well. And those are lawful restrictions that, just like, for example, a prison, right? If it's federal, it's probably not being ran privately. It's probably being ran by the government. It doesn't give us the right to be able to walk right in and go anywhere we want in the prison, right? Because there's security measures, security risks, and stuff like that. You have to be approved to be on that property. You have to be approved to go into that property. You have to be approved to see whoever might be, housed in that property. So those are reasonable restrictions, even on, properties that the public own. When you talk about governmental properties, I just want to remind everybody, you are the government. I don't think people quite understand that. And we vote for representatives for ourselves, right? To go and have this, because you don't want, 87 million people, in the state capitol having 3 minutes to speak on it, whatever they're approving. We send our representatives there. So that's just like a little tidbit. But I don't see why anybody would have to be approved for that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I see everybody. Who else? Oh, Outer Banks, member for 8 months. Thank you. I missed you because I remember seeing Melanie, and but I didn't see you. YouTuber, you got this. Thank you, guys. I think I do. We don't know how the case is going to play out in court. We don't have crystal balls. All we can do is be prepared. And I feel like I'm prepared. I feel I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But I got my coffee. So it's not the first time we've had to do things tired and exhausted. We know we didn't do anything wrong. I covered my bases. I made sure I was on public property. I didn't speak to anybody. I didn't see anybody, with the exception of Chris's stepdad. And we all know why I saw him. It wasn't because I was looking for him. It seems like he was looking for me. He wanted my tag number for whatever reason, which is very concerning for me, especially after, the number of statements made by his stepson. So that's kind of where we're at in this. And I just want you guys to know I'm here. We'll see how the day turns out. I'm pretty sure everybody else is probably going to be going live before I have an opportunity to go live because, obviously I've got things going on after court that I'm going to have to attend to. And but as soon as I'm humanly possible to get on this computer and let you guys know what happened, from my position, I'm happy to do that, but it won't be immediately. So just pray for the situation, pray over everybody in the situation, and pray that we have a reasonable resolution today and move forward. So we'll see how everything goes. I love you guys. God bless you guys. And don't worry about me. Like I said, I'm a big girl. We just need prayer. Prayer moves mountains, and we need to pray over this judge. Okay, this judge needs a lot of prayers. He needs God in his ear, God on his shoulder, and God in his brain. So rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another, guys. I love you to pieces, and we'll see you soon.